Action?
We're fucking around with Joe Era. Live on the wire, hear the collectors roar. From toy aisles, past the custom-built dials. Oh, we're fucking around with Joe Era. Ask it loud, ask it raw. Trusting legends forever.
Good evening.
Hello.
So, yes, always late, those knocks. Um, so, you know, as as we have discussed previously, we do have hopefully we've been having some audio trouble all night trying to get this set up, but we do have a feed from an Arbco warehouse in Louisiana, of all places. Interesting. But let's see if we can tap into the feed and see what's going on there. Well, looks like we do have the press conference. We've got Zartan and all of his Dreadnoks. Very cool. Nope, still don't have audio. Still don't have audio. It looks like he's announcing something. These fellows look a little surprised. Zorana is not happy at all. At all. Oh, she's mouthing something. He didn't ask her. Oh, now the monkey's angry. There she is. Black Belle. Black Belle is joining the Dreadnoks. Oh, there's a bit of a scrum. Bit of a scrum. Zartan's trying to keep distance. Oh.
Getting
Uh-oh.
ugly.
This is not looking good. Oh, she's down. Zorana's down. But it looks like she is now one of the Dreadnoks.
Nice. Road Pig's going to be upset about that.
Yeah, I had
The light of his life.
another angle. I had another angle, yeah, and he was starting to rush, and he was being held back. But yeah, so that is it. Black Belle is joining the Dreadnoks, and this is really an unboxing with the creator himself, Uncle Clutch. So, what I'm going to try and do, this is my first unboxing here, so see if I can switch cameras and it's see how this turns out here. Switch cameras and there we go. All right. So I did do all my knife work beforehand. So look at that. Oh, let's start off with oh, some paperwork here. Says thank you from Lady Spartan Creations. You are now the proud owner of one of a kind custom action figure. Each piece is hand built and handcrafted for series collectors. Custom build parts may be glued, repainted, or modified. Posing for swapping weapons or adjusting tight joints. Use a hair dryer. Don't force it. All good stuff. And the second page. Look at this. Let me see if I can get all the way down. There we go. Georgia
Small view.
Dreadnok Charter. Yeah, there you go. And it has all the details. It gives her profile, weapons of choice. Really cool. 2 pages here. On the back, the vehicle, reputation. I like that. You hear
Table
the leather
slammer.
snap. Table slammer, yeah. If I'm
Reputation
chasing you,
table
run
slammer,
faster.
apparently.
I like that quote. If I'm chasing you, run faster. If I'm walking, it's already over. That seems to hold true.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. There is really well packaged here. Lots and lots of bubble wrap. You really know how to get to a guy. I'll
I don't
just be
trust the
doing this all day
USPS.
tomorrow. All right. So for starters, let me put the box out of the way for right now. For starters, let's see if I can get a better
Are you are you going to
angle of
embiggen your
this.
screen?
I should do that, shouldn't I? All
Yeah.
right. Let's do this. Go back to here.
Going looking through a peep
Get
sight at
that
your
down.
hands here.
All right. There we go. So we have got a bag of fun, is what it looks like here. So can you tell me a little bit about this bag?
So there's not things in the bag are not necessarily related to the character. They could be in your headcanon, but for
Hmm.
first-time buyers, we a lot of times will include a bag of random goodies that can be used for kit bashing and or equipping
Ooh, like
background
that.
stuff, whatever. So that stuff's all just, for you to do with what you will.
That is way cool. Oh, we got some leg action here. Oh, see, this is this is the kind of stuff that I like because then I can add it to my other characters and oh,
There you go. Just
very
somebody got a
cool.
gold medal.
Somebody got a gold
You
medal.
never know what's going to be in there. That's the thing. It might not all be military gear.
I Doc. So yes,
Everybody
so
knows I cut
that's
Doc up a lot, so
and anybody who's ever watched Boondock Saints, you know you need some
you
rope.
gotta have some rope there, Charlie
You
Bronson.
got you gotta have some rope. But yeah, I mean, this is an amazing bag of fodder that I can use to dress up my armory or add to my other characters or let Belle horse around with some of it. So let me push this stuff to the side and get to the next thing in the box. There we go. Belle. All right. So very well packaged. Let's see there. See if we can move it back. So there we go. And one of my favorite weapons of all time, the lever action. Gotta love it.
Yep, for
Now, and she
mounting on her
comes.
bike, and she stole that PR-24 probably off a cop. Maybe she dated him and took it from his belt when he was at her house. I don't know.
So this looks amazing. For starters, let's just get that out of the way. Everything from the details on the jacket, everything is painted nicely. And I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome. And she's even got a tattoo.
Yep,
So
kind of hid
that's
it in
cool.
there,
Yeah.
and she can work with or without her jacket just based on your preference. Again, you gotta just peel it off gently and
Hmm. So, but that is amazing. Amazing work. And the choker, the whole nine.
yeah, the choker
That
she came
is.
with that. I kind of changed it just a little bit with a little detail work. Her armband also, some other stuff I
Mhm.
kind of took off, and then like I said, I added pants because she was a little underdressed for combat work.
Now, did you add the green to that pistol? I like that. That's a
No, that
cool.
was one of the ones that came with
Okay.
somebody. I can't remember, but um, again, I just figured like she would pick up weapons kind of along her journeys. I could see her on the M60,
Yeah,
not carrying it
absolutely.
because this isn't like an 80s movie, but
Yeah. So that is awesome. And that's not where the fun stops, apparently, as we dive deeper into the box.
more bubble wrap. We even protect the papers.
Yes, everything is bubble wrapped now.
So that is the
Very.
creation of the other half of Lady Spartan Costumes, who's in the comments. So anybody who wants to pay her
Hmm.
props, I'm sure she'll be glad. We've got Major Blood, my custom of him, where he has a Claymore mine on his belt because he ain't going out like no punk. That's the older version. I think I sent you both. Um,
Hmm.
and that is Trinity from Texas and some of her bodyguards that on the one you showed. But also the one we're on now,
Oh,
the
okay.
middle got
Okay.
yeah. So there's
Oh,
Trinity in the middle. Yeah, you got to pick one, man. I'm
okay.
getting dizzy. All right, let's
Yeah.
stick with
Go
that one.
ahead. Go for it.
All right, so
Yeah.
Trinity is in the middle. She is in charge of her Texas charter, and then her two bodyguards that she keeps with her at all times are Dalton, who is the wavy-haired beauty on her left, and
Hmm.
Ringo on the right. And Ringo
Let's
got
see
his
if I
name from
can.
Buzzer because Buzzer
There
saw
we go.
Ringo dressed in the cowboy gear, which there's some interesting stuff
Hmm.
about his cowboy gear. I'll tell you in a minute. And he said it looks like someone just walked across your grave in his Australian accent, and they just started calling him Ringo after that. Ringo has what looks like old school gear, and but his
Hmm.
gear, he has actually a tracking device in the heel of each boot. His duster has Kevlar cloth plates in it, and it's hard to see, but his rifle does have, I believe, a red dot on it. And he's just a
Nice.
badass cowboy. He's more cowboy, I think, than Dalton, who's just got the double six shooters. And Dalton's leaning a little more towards biker with the cut. He's also got some Charlie Bronson rope. Um, and he's got a dope AK from Top Fun Retro Toys, who you can see is stamped there in the bottom. John's not watching because he's in Utah or something. I'm not sure what maybe he's going over to join the Mormons. I don't know. They're always looking for folks like John. No, I probably would tell him to leave. No, but yeah, so that we've got our little scan bar on there that goes to the Instagram, which was the first thing. Then we've got Zanya over on the right. I think she was one of the later models I made, and I noticed a lot of similarities to the current Zanya, with the exception of the head sculpt, which I just didn't like the one that was coming out on 3D. So, but the shirt, the midriff, the pants, and the boots are all kind of the same. I did see that she's up for pre-order tomorrow, and I'm going to go ahead and do it because. And by the way, I'll probably sell or gift or trade one of you out there a chameleon because I don't really need it. So I don't have any swamp water in my apartment, but maybe I can get towards something else that I need. So flip that one over and let's see what's on the back of that
Okay.
one. I don't remember. Um, okay, that is the new one. That's just the other side. So yeah, we've got Major Blood. I customized him with a Battle Android Trooper arm. I figured maybe he got an upgrade from Cobra, and
Nice.
he is actually wearing Zartan armor because at the time I don't think I had his armor and it looked pretty much the same. I put him in what I figured he would be fighting the Bush Wars in, before he went to
Hmm.
work for Cobra. He's got the beret, got the neckerchief, the brown shirt, the Outback pants that my man Savage loves so much. He loves the Outback buck, and he is not wrong about that. It was a gift to us from the gods for sure. Um, in the middle, we've got a created Joe character, which most of you guys out there know I don't really create a lot of Joe characters. I do once in a while. I'm mostly Cobra and heavily into Nox, but that is Diablo, and his backstory is he was from the mean streets of L.A. and kind of escaped the gang life to join up and ended up in the Joes. And when I first got Footloose, I had mixed feelings about the figure because I was like, okay, Footloose was kind of supposed to be the quintessential light infantryman, and that figure to me was like halfway between special ops and halfway between a regular infantry guy. So I took and bought multiples and I did one in each direction. Thank you, Joe. He's always been one of my favorites after Firefly, so I wanted to give him his due. But yeah, so Diablo, another wrestler head. Like I said, somebody out there is probably like, that's so and so, and I'm like, yeah, cool.
Hmm.
Um, he's decked out with grenades, chest rig. I kind of took some of the camo off the pants, gave him the hatchet. So whoever was asking me the other day about was I carrying a hatchet? No, but Diablo was. So
Hmm.
Diablo has a hatchet, and has hatchet will travel. So that takes us to Jinx on the right. I am not a fan of Jinx's outfit. nor the blindfold shtick. None of that. To me, Jinx is a commando who is also trained in the martial arts, and I hand painted her into an OD green outfit, left the tats because they're just badass, and gave her another one of John's guns where she's got, I believe, here's increase my screen, a suppressed MPK5 variant.
Hmm.
And I did do two heads with her, so I took her head that came with her, snipped off the little tail of the bandana, and very carefully painted it OD green, so she can also go full baklava. Do you hand paint the tattoos? No, I use Bad Mother, like most of us. I actually just placed an order with him, and I'm actually making a figure of myself in a Dreadnok, and I have a head that I can interchange onto a Joe body as well. And I'm thinking of taking pictures of my tattoos on my arms and going full bore and seeing if you can do
Nice.
those. Because, as you guys know, I have Beachhead, I have the Punisher skull, I've got some flowers for the lovely ladies in my family, and then on
Nice.
my other arm, I have Predator holding a kettlebell and a weight bar. All right, so then we have our sticker, and I sent you a few because you might want to give them out or hold them up on the next podcast and brag. And
Yeah.
I still won't have any from Ronnie, but maybe somebody will shoot me one so I can feel
I,
inclusive. Um,
I, I s- I still have one, so I could
Sweet,
send you this one. I still got
sweet.
one. So
I got a gun case that needs filling. So yeah, that
yeah.
and Lady Spartan actually helped design the decal, and but she actually did the entire
Oh,
card that you just had. So.
no,
Um,
that's amazing. That's good
Yeah, she
stuff.
she pretty much was like, "What do you want on here?" And I would come over and point and grunt, and she'd be like, "Okay, I got it. You can go now." And then we kind of worked together with some AI work and after a few iterations, and Lady Spartan's actually working a lot with the AI now 'cause she's trying to make magnets of a lot of our characters and also existing characters. And whereas some of the folks I see on Instagram are doing like the hard charger stuff, we're actually looking at
Hmm.
stuff like I sent one to Joe, he knows, but for the audience out there, of Major Blood and Zartan smoking cigars on a swing set. And you're not going to get that
Hmm.
anywhere else except from Lady Spartan Creations. You can get that one from somewhere next. I just told you guys, but we're not going to tell you what the other ones are until Joe Fest when you come by the table and go, oh snap, I need to buy some of those from this lovely woman dressed like a Dreadnok. And it's going to be hard to resist that anyway. So she's going to take your money. Or you'll be dealing with, my partner dressed like Magnum PI throwback there because he could do Leatherneck, but I think he's just going to go to his old standby. Bad Mother
No.
Customs, yes.
Yeah. And
Also known
yeah,
as
it
87 Spuds on eBay.
yes, that's what I was going to allude to, is that it's a different name on eBay, and I think his cards, like he has a business card that he includes with his stuff, and I think it's also says Bad Mother Tattoos as well. But maybe he changed it to customs now because he does so much other stuff. But maybe I had an old card. But yeah, awesome stuff, and you know I. I did. I used his stuff on my classified scale armadillo, and I never used water slides before, and I used him again for my Cobra Commander. So it's quality stuff. It's not as difficult as you would think. It's it's
And
not easy. It's not easy, but it's
and there's a few
practice
different
makes perfect.
methods. There's a few different methods. Like I've seen Savage, he does. Uh, Mike pulls a lot of them like with his fingers and pulls them right onto. Whereas I sit them in a little kind of finger bowl and I pull them out with tweezers and I just kind of drape them across, dab them with a flat
Mhm.
Q-tip. So we all have our methods. I mean, you got to do what works. And if you burn through a couple of them, practice on something
Yeah.
that you've got a few on the card of. But I'll tell you too, he does 118, 112, and 1/6. So you can get these for all the way up to a 12-inch Joe. But don't discount
Mhm.
the fact, little tip for people out there that are thinking about using these. I've had someone send me the smaller 118 ones that can be a great shirt logo. So like, if you wanted something small, right, like what I've got on,
Mhm.
some of those are not going to cut it because you don't want a logo on a shirt that's this big. That's going to look weird. Dookie does a lot of work with the cuts, and if you wanted to
Mhm.
put something on the front, it's going to look weird if it's out of scale. The opposite is also true if you're trying to do a sleeve on a guy. You could get a 1/6 sheet of his overlays, and they might go good on the front of covering a t-shirt. I've got a guy that his whole chest is tattooed, Sabbath, the one who has the anti-armor weapon. And
Hmm.
that is a 1/6 tattoo that probably is supposed to go on like an upper arm, but I did it as a full chest piece. And so you got
Yeah.
to look around, and basically you just put in what you're looking for and the size, and he does all three. And if you don't see it, you just message him on eBay and tell him what you're looking for, and he'll shoot you a price and then shoot you a link, and then it'll be available for other people to grab.
Nice. And yeah, I bought not only the kind of prep adhesive. There's two bottles. There's like a blue one and a red one. One of them is Sol, and one of them is something else. And if you utilize those, it makes life a lot easier. It allows you to get the water slides into grooves a lot better without necessarily snapping your decal.
Yes, they do. The saw helps to go into the, like, a lot of times if you're going on the arm, you want to get through the joints and everything. That was a little trying for me. My buddy on Instagram, Sog Reaper Customs, he kind of took some time out to explain some things to me about it. Also doing some shading around it. If you want to get to where you're filling in a sleeve, what do people get on their sleeves a lot? They get little stars. You can just do dots with like a Sharpie, a fine tip Sharpie. You can fill it in. You can cut your
Mhm.
tattoos to fit into the little grooves on the forearms. You can cut them where they stop at the glove. But yeah, another good thing about the microsol too is if you knock it over, it's a really expensive liquid to spill, which I've had happen, and curses will emit afterwards. So I've started keeping a couple of bottles on hand spare, because usually when you dump that over, it starts and it smells like vinegar. So uh, not something you want to spill
It
on
does.
yourself or in around someone else. But
No.
yeah, it works great. And I think Savage and I both kind of share the mindset of about 24 hours to let it cure, especially if you're doing one where like you're going to put something on a black background. So if you're putting a Dreadnok logo on a black
Mhm.
background, you're going to put the white overlay on first, let it dry, then you can put the one that's got the color on the background the next day, and then a little bit
Mhm.
of sealant, whether it's spray or brush on, and then that thing's going to be on there to where you probably can move it around and play with it, but as long as it's got a cure. It's like anything. It's like painting, you want everything to cure. Oh, sweet. Where'd you get that?
So this is part of a package that I got off of eBay,
Okay.
Evil Bay, and he
Those
threw in a
cans look
bunch of
huge.
beers. The cans are not, they don't work.
They look
The
like
the bottles
Australian
are all right.
beers.
Yes, yeah, they're the oil cans. Um like the monster cans that I got are good for like Chatsworth, the Bigfoot guy,
All right.
but that's
Gotcha.
about it. Like everything else is just they're so short and fat.
We need someone
Joe's
making
Oscar
those
Mike,
things.
Joe's Oscar Mike, he has a source for all that.
Okay.
So definitely reach out to him. Um but a lot of stuff going on. I know we've kind of gotten away from like news and drops and other things happening, but it sounds like Zanya's dropping pretty soon. So
Yep.
I know the what is that? The Night Creeper. He comes this week, and
The
that's
Night
like,
Creeper
and
spooky guy.
if you want to roll the dice on Walmart again, they will never get another pre-order from me. It's not happening. They've canceled almost every single one that I've ever done with them. So
They're definitely writing checks they can't cash for sure. Also, too,
yeah.
I know there's been a lot of interest lately online on both Facebook and Instagram with the whole mainframe and Zarana romance. So
Mhm.
I do have a mainframe Dreadnok in development. Did some work on him today. You're going to get to see fairly soon a release of mainframe over with the Knox. He is, of course, only a prospect, which, he's got to prove himself, and they're probably all keeping a side eye on him, except for Serrana. She's keeping both eyes on him. But he is going to be a mix of uh, his old school profession. You got to remember, Mainframe used to
Mhm.
be a Marine, and he used to be a Joe, and he's a hacker, so he can be very valuable to the organization. And uh, not going to be able to be true to the height. So for those of you who do not like the short version of that figure, you're going to be happy with this. To those of you who are purists and want him to be short, I tried him on a short figure. and Lady Spartan gave me a solid thumbs down, and I tended to agree with her. So we're going with a figure that's got what we need to bring mainframe to the dark side of the light, so to speak. And I already got a lot of his gear prepped behind me. Not going to show that because I want to kind of do a reveal. And then, like I said, got my Dreadnok of myself simmering on a Ripper buck. Not so much because of the muscles, because I want to like show out, but mostly because the skin tone matched the head sculpt, and I was able to, get that. I'm wearing a tank top under my jacket for Joe Fest, and then I am
Nice.
going to I am going to Toylanta. So anybody who's going to Toylanta next weekend, uh, wondering if I'm gonna
Maximum
be able,
Warp.
okay, I got to meet up with
Maximum
Max
Warp will
then.
be there. Yeah, definitely reach out to Max. Did you see any of the exclusives? Are you interested in any of that? Like I forget who had that. Like he was almost like a mix between, you know, dark, like black, gray, white camo, but then he has like a sci-fi weapon. Like
Oh yeah, I signed up for the Uber line jumper tickets. I'm gonna get that guy.
nice.
Yeah, he
Hey
does look like he
Paul.
has snow camo.
Yeah, yeah. There you, there you go. Plague Doctor. Mainframe is great because he's dull.
He's not going to be soon. You're going to be like, oh, this isn't my grandpappy's mainframe. No, it's not.
So you went
threw
in
that
the
in there for Eric.
direction you you went in the
Grandpappy.
direction that you showed me today, right?
Correct. Yeah, just I had to
That
add some
is,
height back in because I needed a figure that had the look of, aspiring Dreadnok biker gang member, but
mhm.
also he's very straight-laced looking. I'm gonna let you know I have the skills to change that just enough, and you will definitely know who he is aligned with in the
Mm.
gang on my grandpappy mainframe. All right. Well, he's still
Yeah.
available on Amazon for a 20. I think he's 20% off, so you need to go grab you one before
Yeah.
they end that sale.
Yeah. Before they do surge pricing again.
Yes.
They yeah. So I think, and I think you and your team there, because of this, the fact that I was able to procure it out, like when I saw it, I'm like, I want that. Like, I hope he hasn't sold that one already. Like, and if not, I hope he can make another one. Um, but I think now I've got the collection to where I want to start telling stories. I'm going to build more dios than you've ever seen in your life, and then try and maybe not the way I did tonight, but in some form or fashion, create displays that are modular. They're going to have magnets on them, so you can take like a street and you can change the building behind it. You can turn a warehouse into something else. You can, I already have it kind of, you know what, let me take this off for a second. We'll switch back. But I think what really would like to do is get it to where you can change a couple of pieces and maybe have a flat stack of foam about this high, and you can get 5 or 6 different looks out of it.
Very cool.
And not everything is going to be compatible. Like when I do the Dreadnought Swamp, lair, cabin, hangout, it's going to be kind of its own thing. But what I found in doing the warehouse is, you know, I did not get the magnets in yet, so everything is kind of pinned for right now. But I could use that wall in like 3 other ideas I have. So if I can do that, it also makes it easier for shipping. If anybody has an idea and they want me to try it, the once now that I'm done with the tomb, I'm working on Dracula's crypt, and I also want to do an Arctic thing. But I think the collections, what I collect now, is going to be more about the story and what I want to display and how to work the Joes and everybody into scenarios so that I can just swap displays every couple of weeks or once a month or whatever. So,
Gotcha.
but your creativity with what you're doing with, with these, it definitely sparked something in the last couple of weeks. That's for sure.
I think too
So,
with the push of some of y'all, this Lady Spartan's always pushing me to do it, but the push of some of y'all encouraging about maybe putting some stories together because, for someone like yourself and Dookie who are doing the areas they can be in, and I do the
mhm.
characters. um, I still have a lot of like literary knowledge. I think I got that from my mother because my father was an engineer at heart, and yeah, I didn't really take to that. I know I build stuff now, but not really beyond like weapons maintenance and a few other small repairs. That's kind of where my energy dulls out of that. But uh, for people that have like smaller scale areas like myself, like I can't really probably have a lot
Mhm.
of room for dios, but something you're talking about that could be set up, especially to do something like where I want to take a picture, where I want to spin the lazy Susan just to show something, or if I
Mhm.
want to do a quick video to show you guys how I made something. The whiteboard in the background's kind of, but also I have to think like I got to be able to put this away, right? And I think that needs
Yeah.
to be filled because yeah, I'd love to go to Dookie's house and just like play with the Dreadnoks in there and take like 300 photos, but then I'd eventually have to leave because he's not going to let me live there, So,
Yep. Yep.
but for me, I was thinking, I've got a couple ideas. One thing I'm kicking around is, the Dreadnoks always have a certain reputation, right? And I've got enough people to build, different groups where I could just have everybody be fictional in a story. But what happens when there's a group so bad that the Dreadnoks get enlisted to help get rid of them? Where there's a third party. And I thought, like I always said to you, like, why did they never sign up under the Joes for the right money? Well, sometimes maybe they're signing up for themselves, and we might be seeing something coming out where there's a story being told where they have to deal with something so bad because they're going to protect the
Yeah.
local populace that protects them. It's like a partisan force,
Hmm.
right? Like the guerrillas are protected by the villagers. Well, if you have a friendly Knock town and the Knocks are not around and something bad moves in, well, the Knocks aren't going to stand for that. And I think
Yep.
kind of the lore could play too, what Dookie has educated a lot of us on of like, clubs. Not all clubs are, into crime, but a lot of clubs do have a rough side if they need to handle some business. So that business might be handling the right job with not exactly the letter of the law way, and kind of leave it at that.
Hmm.
That's the teaser. So,
Nice. Nice. So I did have one still of uh, the Knox all together, and they are an imposing force when you put them all in the same room.
oh yeah,
And I can't wait to add to their legions and to your point, have chapters. Like that was such a cool way to look at that. Like I had not considered that until you kind of brought that to the table for storytelling. Um, but it's cool. And things like these little play sets, like this I got off of Amazon. um and it was a presser thing for wrestling, but it was it was generic. I think it was like $19 or something, like on sale. And I got four chairs, all the microphones, water bottles, that black curtain. I made the
nice,
Dreadnok flag. I made that. But it's very, you can make backgrounds very easily. It's just the foreground is easy to buy stuff for. It's what do you do with the background, like
right.
so in this one, I've got all the snake armors lined up and in a warehouse. I was telling Dookie earlier I have to go back and add a bunch of details, but I had less than 24 hours to finish up what I was working on because I was just so excited that
You
she
were
was
pressed
arriving
for
on
sure.
Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
I saw that Todrick had
but
commented he got some stuff in from Red Atlas Creations today, and yeah, they do a bunch of good stuff um,
mhm,
for the backgrounds. But like we were still talking about, even if you have like oil drums and ammo cans and chairs. No, you still have to have what's behind it, right? And like in this
yeah.
instance, the gray wall works great with the snakes armor, and
Hmm.
then the guy standing up, you've got the table knife. So like, yeah, for me, it always comes down to like, okay, after that, and that's why I use the AI backgrounds for now for my photos, because like I can stack up three Cobra ammo crates that I got custom made
Hmm.
on Etsy. Etsy's a good source for stuff. Red Atlas. There's a couple others that go through Instagram and eBay. But at some point, you need something off in the distance or right behind it to show like if you're not building a full-on dio, like some folks are, and like some folks have the talent, time, and materials for, yeah, we need something to kind of fill that. gap.
For sure, for sure. Um, so speaking of upcoming dios and things, well, first and foremost, I wanted to talk a little bit about this guy, the Monster Force guy. If you're looking for a boonie hat and a good face sculpt, Raven's your guy, you know. Um, but he comes with a lot of stuff, and I know that that makes you, someone like you, very happy because there's
Oh yeah.
just so much. It's so modular. But my Arctic background, so this guy is going to be encased in ice, and I've already figured out how to do that. So I've got a skeleton Viking. Um, he comes with like a soft goods cape, but I figured out how to encase them in ice, and I took a photo of it. I'm not going to show it tonight because that's not what tonight's about. But I think people will be pleased and want to know how to do it, and maybe that'll be some things in the future. Now,
Oh.
now that I've figured out how to set up the camera a little bit, I can practice with the table here. I need a bigger work area is my problem. It's- but
Mm. So yeah, I will
do
tell
you,
you
do
the
you-
good news is I did get some things sold to cover that expense of getting that guy. Because remember I told you I was on the
yeah,
fence. So um,
yeah,
and I started looking at the
yeah.
Soldier of Fortune dudes too, and I was like, hmm, what could I use from this dude? But I was going to tell you
Hmm.
something cool that I wanted to share with the audience that a
Yeah.
friend of mine in this hobby that I just became friends with over Facebook, and he had sent me a figure. I traded some stuff with him, and we kind of came up with this idea to just build a custom for each other in total secret. And um, he has received an open mine. I'm still mine maybe in the mail locker, but it was raining today, and I'm not tough anymore. I was worried I might melt on the way up there, so I'm gonna get it tomorrow if it's there. But
Hmm.
yeah, he opened his, and I built him kind of an apocalyptic warrior type criminal bad guy leader from a Big Boa base. And I'm gonna tell you, painting Big Boa's legs into flesh tone was a pain in the ass, but I persevered. But he opened it on video and he was so excited to see it. I gave him the file on the guy, and so I've got one coming from him, and it's like, there wasn't any money changing hands. I paid for my shipping, he paid for his. But if you know somebody who's like got something going, whether you want to trade dios or parts, if you've got something, I think that's one of the cool things I'm discovering. It's not just about me making stuff and sending to people that buy it. If somebody needs something, I've had people say, "What do you need? What are you in search of?" And
Hmm.
sometimes I've just done giveaways and things. I saw something today where a woman was selling her husband's collection. He had passed, and she was trying to take care of some stuff for her two sons with autism, and she had a Zartan. So I was like, okay, I definitely need another Zartan and do something
Yeah.
good. So I'm gonna buy this. And it's just things like that to keep your eye out on, like, kind of paying it forward, passing it on, flip-flopping, swapping. It was really cool to see his excitement over something I built. Your excitement
Mhm.
was great too, but you know what I mean? Like now I'm waiting, and it's just because he told me, he said, read the file I built on your character before you open him. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, like now. I want it now, and it kind of brings back that element of childhood, kind of how you were excited waiting on the mailman. And so for
Yeah.
me, it's like I don't want to just be sending stuff out. I want to get stuff from people too.
Yeah. Yes.
And not just
Yes.
the
No.
companies, like I'm trying to build. So for those of the people out there also who are building customs, I have a Dreadnok from the guy I just mentioned, from Sog Reaper, and from I always say his name wrong, Carrie Workaholic.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's foreign, but he
Mm,
he makes some really cool custom. So I have Dreadnoks from those three, and I'm basically gonna let those aren't gonna be for sale. Those are just for display. I'm gonna make some of them
mhm,
prospects who are petitioning, and kind of almost like a little subsect of Dreadnoks who are from other people. Dookie is on. I'm gonna want something from him sooner or later, whether I have to buy it or trade for it or whatever, because he's got like the raw ones, right? Right? Like these guys are just
mhm.
straight out of low cash kind of thing. And some other
Yeah.
folks too. I think Savage built some really crazy stuff, just having fun boiling and popping, and the next thing you know, it's like, holy smokes, what'd you just make? So yeah, I just want to get that like
Hmm.
group where it's like this is from people I've met in the hobby, and it's almost like a special shelf kind of thing.
Nice. Nice. So I'll have to get some dimensions from you for, approximately how big a snap together thing you might be looking for, because I got some. So I have, I don't know if you do this. Well, I think you said the other night you do this, but I make notes all day long in my phone of stuff I got to go back and revisit. The problem is finishing them, but I start a lot of projects. I start a lot of projects.
While we were talking and
So,
texting today, I was also working out and doing all the information on mainframes custom and jotting down things and bouncing it off the AI assistant and saying, nope, I don't like that, change it up. I mean, we went back and forth on how to do Zarana markings like 4 or 5
mhm,
times. But also too, people who do the cubby holes for the troop building, and then they have
mhm.
bookshelves, something behind there too that you just leave there. So it's not just a picture of your wall behind your guys, but maybe it's like headquarters or the garage or whatever. So I could give you dimensions on a bookshelf, and anybody could do that. So
So the interesting thing that I saw, and I was actually looking for something for my wife's candle shop. There are like Lazy Susans that support up to 750 pounds, and they're like $17 that you can get them, and then you can build a bookshelf on that. My idea is to chop up. I saw dimensions on one, and basically each cubby hole going around was like a 12 by 12. So, I mean, it was sizable. But I could stick that in a corner and spin it. And then, each little cubby hole is like 1 foot by 1 foot little mini dio. And I can just, do like, okay, this is a jungle, this one's Arctic. And then whenever I want to create something, I can just, just spin the wheel. Like, what do we got? so,
right. Um,
so
Todrick said his first name is Ferry, not Carrie. I did get that wrong, but I prefaced it by saying I probably would. And yeah, from the
mhm,
Netherlands. So yeah, that shipment took a little while to get to me. I was definitely like, is this gonna come? Am I getting this? But it was great when it got here.
yeah.
I could not barely figure out the figure he built that on. It was a female character, like I said, not yet revealed because I want to kind of give her some background and give her a name. And she's right up there with Black Bell. She's a slammer, so yeah,
Nice.
she's got some style. So
Very cool. Well, um, that is all the excitement for this evening. Now I'm gonna go set her up with the rest of the team and
cool.
start building her a home, because like I said, one of the things that drives me bonkers is that when and I understand that companies build things for, mass quantities, so like they can't get every detail. But when you get something from a customizer, there is love that goes into it, there is detail that goes into it, and it shows. And then when you unfortunately when you stick, one next to somebody else, or a mass market item, it stands out like 10 times as much. When, like, if I stick Black Bell up against, a Hasbro whatever, you immediately notice the difference. And but that just means I'm gonna have to get more Uncle Clutch customs.
Nice. Yeah, I would like us to see more people showing up to the toy shows with customs too. Like I said, like we're gonna have a strong, representation this year. I think we'll maybe see one other place that does
Mhm,
it. Not a lot of people seem to do it at the bigger shows because maybe they feel like only people want retail, but I don't think they do only want retail because a lot of people have the
mhm,
same stuff. And then I've been told, which I'll find out this year since I'm gonna be a vendor, is that some people will go to another booth, buy a bunch of stuff from another vendor, and then just upcharge it. And I'm like, okay. You can't only
mhm,
go so far with that with custom work, but I'd love it if I could go
mhm.
and shop customs. Like I said, to get something and say, oh, I follow you on Instagram. I definitely want to buy this from you. Just because I make my own doesn't mean I don't, you know what I mean? It's like, I cook at home, but
Yeah.
I'm still going to go to a restaurant, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I really appreciate everything you're doing, and
No worries.
you know, clearly clearly I'm a fan, so
I'm
definitely
enjoying
check
it.
out Uncle Clutch.
The 24th of this month is the first year anniversary of when I guess Lady Spartan Creations took flight with the sale
Mhm.
of the first figure, the eBay page, and then I started out with 35 people on Instagram, most of whom were family or friends that I didn't really need to communicate with because I talked to them on a regular basis. So kind of deleted some folks I didn't need, and then got mostly into this world, and we're cruising towards 700. So tell your friends. I'd like to hit 700 before the 24th. That would be nice. We did hit 200 plus on Facebook, which was a goal before the 24th. And eBay, I'm sorry, not eBay. YouTube is still in its infancy, so if we can get to 30 from 22, that would be great as well. I promise there's more videos coming, and thanks to Joe and some others, there'll be some better backgrounds and stuff as far as content. And probably we'll get on there too and do some stuff. Like I really want to do a review on the recent War Machine movie, that was on
Mhm.
Netflix. I enjoyed it for the first 5 minutes till they started making errors, and you know. I've got an interesting commentary on it. Did I enjoy the movie as a whole? Yes. Do I have some things to say about it that might get a chuckle or two from anybody who knows anything about firearms or the military remotely? Yes. So I'm going to put some
Mhm.
content up there. Like I said, maybe do some promos if I do a literary piece on some Dreadnok stuff, and then feed that out through y'all as well in the community so we can get some people at least reading it and giving me some feedback.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, and I think, as more people start watching, I mean, Sunday Fun Day is always a blast. You are always welcome. You are now in the group, so I post the link in there, and I know Dukey's not there, but I did get an email from him tonight, so I'm gonna find a way to communicate with him and get him the links, and he's more than welcome to drop in anytime. But I think for my channel, the kind of content, like, I despise doing reviews now. Like, it is the bane of my existence. I have stacks of things that I've been meaning to review, and there are hundreds of people reviewing things on
True.
YouTube. Like,
True.
who gives a crap? But if I get something new, I want to tell you why I like it and what I don't like about it. And it's not necessarily in a review format. I'm not going to show you a T pose because Bobby B does that. Punk with Toys does that. Like, there's 100 other people that if you want that type of info, you know where to go already. But
Right.
if you want something a little bit different, drop over my channel because I'm going to tell you, like, this is a gummy piece of shit. Like when I did my first Ostriker review. Um, I actually did two Ostriker reviews. I did the first one where I was like, this is a total piece of shit. It's garbage. And then I added a bunch of gridiron stuff to it, and I redid the wheels. I got the retro cannon, and I'm like, this is like a 9 out of 10 now. This is a
It was a
beautiful
good
thing.
raw piece of material, and it needed a lot of help, and almost to the point of I kind of started calculating, and I was like, well, I could just get the Swamp Hound, which is their Dreadnok version, on Gridiron and be happy with a big harpoon gun instead of getting this and having to paint it and do different things. Now, as it turns out, I still don't have room for that vehicle, and I've got a Ninja Turtle van that I'm going to convert in a box behind the couch that I still haven't opened, but it's happening sooner or
Mhm.
later. So,
Nice. Nice. Yep. The life of creatives. So, but thank you for putting all this effort in. This is not going to be my last purchase for sure.
you've
But
made me raise
I'm
the
glad
bar
that you're
kind of
able.
high though with all this hype. So this next one that you get, I'm going to have to really come out of the booth on it. So, but I do have a few I've been hiding on the shelf behind me that you don't know about. So there might be somebody where you've just been waiting to meet this guy or gal your whole life and you just didn't know they were out there. So,
Perfect. I can't wait. And thanks to everybody that stopped in. And I know we were up against some much bigger shows tonight, so we appreciate you stopping in and hanging with us for a little bit because I was stupid excited to do this, and it was my first unboxing that I've done First live unboxing, first unboxing, and I thought, for not having done that before, I thought it went pretty good. So
Yeah, it
we'll
went good.
probably do some more down the line.
Cool.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And oh, there you go. So before we get out of here, do you have any appearances or things that you're doing, or uh, any shows that you might be popping up on? We always ask that. So,
Um, no, I've been on quite a few lately, so I'm always open to invites or whatever if the time is available. And
yeah.
I'll be the next few days kind of creating in the lab while Lady Spartan travels for work in this horrible weather we have. Um,
Hmm.
Dookie was kind of putting some info out about it yesterday, and he's not wrong. It's terrible down here as well. But yeah, so I'll be doing some creating next weekend. I'm looking forward to Toylanta. Probably shop and work the floor a little bit. Hopefully meet a few people, and then be getting ready for Joe Fest, sales, costumes. We've already got our place secure there. I had thought about going out to the DFW show with and meeting up with John, but I don't know if finances are going to allow that right now. So I
Hmm.
may just tell him if he goes to pick me up a few goodies because I think we talked about I'm looking forward to the Vala release of
Yeah.
the
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 black.
large dude. Yeah, but no, I'm not sure on the
Yeah.
black. Um, I'm not sure the whole pirate slash Navy SEAL crossover thing. I might hold off on that, but I'm interested in the Garrison guy with the Carl
Mm.
Gustav because I'm always looking
The
for different head sculpts.
the one where Bobby constantly got stuck next to Savage Crucible and the Four Horsemen, and then he was just like, "Hey, I have an idea. Let
Yeah,
me make a knight."
exactly. So and I got to see them live and in person at a show in Rhode Island, but then I got the word they don't go to the ones that are Joe dominant. So I was like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
Well, I guess I won't see you for a while then, unless I venture out of my bubble. But yeah, no, nothing else really going on. Still keeping my eye out for good deals and such. I will show you something cool I got today. So I went through the
Oh, let
Walgreens.
me embiggen you. Hold on here. I'm gonna embiggen you. There you go.
The Walgreens near my house had
Nice.
Marvel's Jigsaw, and he's been at that Walgreens for a while, but I wasn't going to pay them $30 for him, so I told Lady Spartan I just would move him to the back, you know.
Hmm.
And I went in there today, and they had him on sale for $14, and I thought, okay, that head, classic villain. We got a machete, a baseball
Hmm.
bat, a sawed-off shotgun, two daggers. Maybe somebody out there might need that white suit, and we can do a little horse trading or gifting or whatever. And I was like, I'll take that. So that was
Yeah.
today's impromptu grab on the way back from the storage unit where I was grabbing things that I was, selling or sending to other people, because that's where the cache is of everything as far as Harris Family Armory and toys. I had a guy from my work help me
Nice.
move some stuff, and he went in and he looked and he was like, "Whoa!" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "That stuff's all mine." I was like, "And there's the decorations and her stuff, and that's."
Nice. Very cool. Well,
But yeah. So otherwise,
I
I'll just be
am.
watching shows for a little while and tuning in.
Well, one show you can watch is Punk with Toys, because I am doing my rite of passage this Thursday. The the monumental marathon Thursday with a friend.
Yep. Yep, I'm like I said, I'm good for 2 hours for sure, and then just replay squad for me after that, probably Friday morning when I'm
Yeah,
working out. So
yeah, that's. I do not blame you one bit. Like I said, it's going to take everything in me to make it to whatever the end is. So,
you can do it.
but yeah. So anyway, thank you so much for coming on tonight, and
Yeah,
thank
thanks for having me
everybody
on and
out
for
there.
opening that and all the fanfare around it. That was cool to watch. I enjoyed the production value you put into that.
We do what we can do, even if we're tired. I will see you next time, sir. Have a
Sounds
good
good.
one. Ah.